Welcome into the latest edition of Extra Time. Kay, Stevie, Ale and Frank. I'm a bit worried about what Stevie might say today.
Oh, why is that?
Just because of how the show opened the other day. But let's not go back there, all right? None of that. If you were watching, you'll remember. The first question is from a Stephen, but a Stephen with a V. Much has been made about this year's Liverpool, this year being similar to Klopp's final season at Dortmund. Do you think it's going to end well for him and the Reds, or do you see Klopp abruptly leaving after this season?
Oh my God, it's all doom and gloom, huh? Holy smoke. Wow, that's a bit early for that show, isn't it?
It's just a question.
I know, but still, I mean, imagine even thinking that way after 6 games. 3 months ago, he could almost broke every sort of record in history of English and British football, and now somebody's wanting them out the door. No, listen, this isn't the first time they've had such a bad run. If you remember, they lost, 6 home games in a trot a couple of seasons ago during the pandemic. So they've had a patch where it's been as bad. Now, you could argue whether this is worse. I would probably say it's just slightly worse. But no, Klopp's not going anywhere at the end of this season.
There you go.
Regardless.
There is your answer, and I think
Yes.
it's quite emphatic too. Question for Ale. Do you think Xavi should be starting Busquets in big Champions League games? He clearly lacks pace and cannot cope with the intensity. Why not Kessie and Frankie in a double pivot role?
Well, it's an interesting point, and I'm sure it's something that Xavi is thinking about, simply because we have seen that Xavi has not in any way questioned himself when moving aside from the old guard of Barcelona. So Piqué, he's sitting on the bench. Jordi Alba, he's sitting on the bench. And in the match against Bayern Munich, what happened, it was very clear to see. Jamal Musiala, most of the time, would drop in and essentially man-mark Sergio Busquets. So now Barcelona don't have or didn't have that natural outlet. And they always seem to go through Busquets, almost as if to ask for permission to then go forward. First goes to Busquets, and then he distributes. It's the way that they play. He wasn't able to find the ball, and so now Barcelona was bypassing that pressure, and then you saw Barcelona going out on transition in the first half where they created chances from that transition. I'm sure Xavi and his staff would pay attention, watch the video and say, maybe, just maybe, this is something that we think about doing, that they can't just concentrate on one player on Busquets, that we're able to have different outlets so that we can either play through the midfield or bypass the pressure. I don't think that time is yet, because I think that Xavi believes that Sergio Busquets is still critical to their success.
Stevie, do you think it will be a concern for Pep Guardiola that Man City have conceded a goal or more in almost every game this season so far?
Well, it should be. You know, we know that he likes to go forward. Listen, I think it was, 3 seasons ago where they were losing a lot more goals than that, and we questioned whether he was interested in defending because he didn't really seem to be doing anything about it. And then all of a sudden they go out and they bought Diaz, they buy Walker. So clearly he does think about it. But right now, I would suggest that even though they might be losing a goal a game, they're creating 5 and 6 chances and scoring 2 or 3 or 3 and 4. So it should be a concern just from a professional point of view. But when you think of Man City, is that the first thing you think about? A problem at the back?
Think of
No.
a big blonde safety net that's Norwegian.
That
But
could
the other
be
end
it.
of the
That could be the answer.
Jan? Is it Jan we're talking about?
What do you think, Frank? Do you think Pep will be concerned about this?
Yes, when you're a coach, you're always concerned because you know that if one day you're not in a good fortune, you can, if you concede a goal, you might lose the game. But in a matter of in Erling Haaland being in the team, scoring at least 1 or 2 goals per game, it's not really a concern because that's the essence of football: scoring more goals than the opponent, and you win the game. And as long as the front line will score so many goals and Haaland will be being the first one, yes, it's a concern, but it's okay. So far, it's okay because they're so productive offensively.
Frank, let me stay with you. There's a question here. What's the mood like in France after the whole Pogba cursing Mbappe debacle?
It's not really about the Mbappe debacle and the cursing that Pogba tried, if really he did. It's mostly about the family war that you can see that his brother Matthias was arrested yesterday, interrogated like for 24 hours, admitted that he made a video accusing his brother. That's something concerning. I remember working for French television and meeting Matthias and telling him, and it made people making fun of me lately because I said, you know, you look like a real clan. You're very close to each other, and you seem to be very much in love together. And when you see what's going on now, I mean, it's a real joke. You see the family falling apart, and that's what everybody sees, and there's a sad part of it is there. The Mbappe said that he talked to Pogba and said that it's not even a debate, and everything is so far so good with in their relationship. They've never been very good friends, but they accepted each other, so it's going to stay like that.
To all, during your career, have you ever been in a situation where what you have said has been misinterpreted, and how it impacted you and how you fixed it? Maybe from an interview, Stevie. You must have a story there. Or where a convenient quote was picked out and it didn't make you look so great. Can you think of anything, Frank, where you've been misinterpreted and how you had to fix things in your career?
Yes, when I played for Strasbourg, Bordeaux was relegated for administration reasons, and but they had players like Dugarry, Lizarazu playing for them, and we fought all year long to the first spot. And I had an interview after the first game that we won 2-1 the last second, and I said after the game that Bordeaux was a very tough team, and they understood how the League 2 was working, and you needed, on top of big technical and big skillful, to be physical. And it's been interpreted that they were dirty, that they were unfair, that they were working to destroy the opponent, and I never said that. It went so high and so far that when we had the return game, we almost fought with Lizarazu, who became my best friend after that, because I explained to him. But everybody was getting crazy. We drew on the return game, but it was an awful atmosphere in the tunnel before the game. And I explained myself after that, but the journalist made the story on himself, and it's never what I said.
I actually do have one, and it's the only time. Because listen, everybody is everybody at some stage has been misquoted. Because that's just what they do. That's what the newspapers do. They turn something you've said into something that's not. But on this one occasion, Scotland were playing England at Wembley, and the previous Saturday, we had played in the FA Cup final, Liverpool against Wimbledon, and we'd lost 1-0, and we hadn't played well. And so the following Friday, the day before the Scotland-England game, I was asked at a press conference about Barnsley and Peter Beardsley. And I just kind of said, well, I hope things go as well for them tomorrow as they did last weekend. And so that got turned into, I said that they played bad and they were all these, all this stuff. And so on the Saturday before the game, when I met Peter and Barnsley, I said, hey, by the way, and before I even said, they went, we know exactly, don't worry about it. So that's the only time.
And they already knew the way it
They already knew I wouldn't say anything like that anyway.
Well, this is not quite Scotland and England at Wembley, but still the same sort of situation in that we were playing away against Portland, and for people that are not familiar with Portland, they have a great environment in that stadium. And this was early days for Portland in Major League Soccer. I was with Chivas USA at the time. And I scored the game winner. We won 2-1. And I'm doing an interview with the local reporter from LA, or the beat reporter for Chivas USA at the time. And I said something along the lines that, you know, it was great to play in that environment in Portland, and hopefully this is something that we can use and we can take and take advantage of at home as well. Which was, it wasn't a comment about our fans or people not coming to the stadium. It was about Portland and how good that environment was. So the quote was not put in as a follow-up to the game that just happened. No, this particular reporter held on to whatever the quote was and saved it for 2 weeks later when we went back home. And somewhere the headline was something along the lines of, I thought that we didn't get enough support at home. I don't know how one thing leads to another, and how what I said about the fans in Portland had anything to do with whatever we were doing or not doing at home, because we were terrible at home or away from home. But at that point, I mean, I knew this was late in my career, but it's confirmation of what you already know as a player, is that when you are talking to the media, when you're talking to reporters, you have to be very measured in what you say. Because even when you think you're saying something that is harmless, that you're simply paying tribute to a group of fans that created a really nice atmosphere away from home, they took that to, well, so you don't like your own fans. And so now I'm getting negative attention from the few fans that we had, because it's not like we had a bunch of fans. The few fans that we had now hated me. That was wonderful.
So did you try to fix it?
No, I didn't try to fix it. Are you kidding me? We were terrible.
It's even worse today. Like, we'll be doing this show now, and if it's a slow day back in England, they'll go on and watch our show and take things that we've said and turn it into something in the papers at home. So it's a constant. You're always going to get misquoted.
You never
Guaranteed.
escape it.
Yep.
If the ESPN FC crew had unlimited resources and decided to run a club together, which club would you buy and why? Does that mean you guys have to all agree?
Yeah, well, that's the first problem. That's just not going to work.
Which club would you buy? I'd either buy the Continental or Stringfellows.
No!
That's what I'd do. The Continental.
You can't buy a nightclub.
Oh, a nightclub. I thought you meant a nightclub.
Especially the nightclubs you're talking about.
I'll tell you one thing. There's one thing. None of us are stupid enough to buy a football club. Oh. A nightclub, now we're talking.
I was like, where do the Continental play?
Oh, the Continental.
Listen, don't let me have to tell you and explain this on this family show. Frank, which club would you buy?
Not the Stringfellows. What?
You know, with all the consent of everybody, well, that's going to be hard, you know, but to pay the respect to the elders that we have in the show, we'll have to go for Liverpool, I guess. Ali, what do you think?
Yeah, sure.
Liverpool?
What?
No, he wants the Continental.
You're actually looking at me there.
You're part of this consortium.
You're actually looking at me with a very serious face. As if it's like a serious question.
Well, you get the final say on if Liverpool's the club.
Oh, aye, Liverpool, yes, absolutely, yeah. Do you need any tickets for the next game?
I would buy Monaco.
Just give me a shout.
Who would be the Todd Bowley of our consortium? That he's going to be at the forefront, sporting director. He's going to be doing the interviews. Who's going to be that guy? We cannot send Craig to do that, because
well,
public relations is not his job.
What would he actually do? Huh? What could he do?
Who, Craig?
So Frank could be the sporting director.
Right.
Because he knows everybody. So Frank could do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
But Craig could be the media guy.
The what?
The media guy. Well, because anybody says anything wrong, he'll fling them out.
Oh, okay. All right. So like the bouncer kind of.
Aye.
Yeah.
And you saw the show the other night. He knows where all the cameras go. And
Yeah, he does.
he knows all that stuff.
Where's Shaka? What's he doing?
Well, he has the keys to the city.
Yeah.
International relations.
Yes, very much so. Hey, he would know where the Continental is.
I Shaq would know where that is.
Frank does as well, by the way. He's laughing.
And then when you asked him, you know when you said, Shaq, where's the cut? He would go, I have no idea. I don't understand what you're talking about.
Because obviously he lives in my native northeast, and I named a few clubs, and he was pretending, no, I don't know any of those clubs.
No, he would. Shaka would be the concierge, but the high class concierge. Where do you need to go? What do you need to do? What restaurant? Shaka would be the guy because he would have contacts everywhere.
Yeah, Julian Laurent could be the press officer. Right.
So what's Craig doing now?
Yeah.
Well,
Craig could be the manager
a what?
of the club.
Well, I don't know.
He could be the gopher. Just get him out the road.
No.
Yeah, go for that.
Craig can be the bad cop who tells people when it's a big firm, no.
Right.
Yeah.
Or,
Yeah, if you don't want
contract, no, you're not getting it.
if you don't want that company's business, you send Craig into the meeting because he will destroy whatever relationship there was with that company, and there you go.
True.
We're done.
True.
All right.
Yeah, we're done.
Last question. Stevie versus Vinicius in a dance-off. Who wins?
I can't dance.
Well, we beg to differ.
Where? In the Continental?
Because hopefully not in Stringfellows. We've seen.
Oh yeah. Hey.
I forgot about that particular quality.
Oh, here we go. Hey, bring it.
Yeah.
Bring it down. Hey.
Aye.
Hey.
You're right, yeah.
Hey.
Yeah, actually, yes. You're right. Vinny, unlucky.
I gotta say, how is that any different from whatever Vini Jr. is doing at the corner?
I can't see any difference myself.
No. I mean, hey, I'm gonna tell you, there's a little Latin action there with the hip,
Well,
and a little dip there.
You got to use your whole
Yeah.
body. You get
And
the
then-
elbows up as well.
See what you
You got to
did?
get the elbows up as well.
That's the fake
That
hip.
was a Moreno one.
Ali, that's the
Moreno
trick of
was
the
the
fake
elbows.
hip.
Use your elbows, swivel the hips,
Yeah.
and there you go. All you got to do is add a bit of music, and we're off.
But
Have you done your DNA results, Emma? Is there a bit of Brazilian in there?
It would appear so.
hey,
It would appear so.
the dip of the shoulder, though. The people.
Well, I can't do the show.
Well, anymore.
I'm getting my shoulder done on Wednesday.
The mic falling off.
Oh, yeah. It was because the movement was so quick. Yeah, that's how quick it was.
Who wins in a dance-off? Frank, you get the final say. Vinicius or Stevie Nicol?
Well, after what I saw and the move of the fake hip, I think I will give Stevie a chance.
Thank you, Frank. Man knows his stuff.
No, but see, what I like here is the commitment
Again.
to the dip of the shoulder and the elbows. Dip,
Yeah,
see the
Yeah,
dip.
look at that. Yeah, wow.
And now I do have a question. And just for your technique, what are you grabbing when this? What are you pulling in?
It's probably getting, you know, my yacht.
Okay.
Well, normally when I'm pulling in the, when I'm pulling in the,
Do you know my yacht?
yeah. I'm pulling it in, innit? I like the lawnmower though.
Why don't you give us a little rendition?
lawnmower
now,
one's good.
Stevie?
No, he was trying to grab the microphone, you know, the battery of the microphone.
Oh, it's gone.
Oh,
What you
well
got,
done.
Stevie?
Good acting. Very good acting, Stevie.
Oh, good job on getting my shoulder done on Wednesday, innit?
Okay, that's all we've got time for.
That's a quick lawnmower.
I don't want to get him injured. He's already got shoulder surgery coming up, so we're going to let him rest after that. Thank you so much for sending in your tweets and your questions. We've had fun here on Extra Time. We'll be back tomorrow to do it all over again.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.